Welcome to Vital Trades. I'm your host, Andrew Dolder, President and Algorithmic Trading Engineer at Vital Trades. Today, I will show you how to export continuous futures trading data from the Sierra Chart platform to the Zorro platform so that you could develop your own trading algorithms for the futures markets. First of all, you must have a valid instance of Sierra Chart. I have a registered Sierra Chart instance, and it cost me only $26 for 1 month. For this demonstration, I am using the SC Data service. You will need this Axel script that I developed. You will find the link in the description. But first you download it, and then you place it in the Sierra Chart directory. I set up an installation here called Intraday Futures. Then we go to the ACS source subdirectory, double-click on that, and we will save it as write2t6.cpp. We save it. And once that's done, we go to the Sierra Chart instance, we click on Analysis, we click Build Custom Studies DLL. We will also need a valid Visual Studio installation. I have already demonstrated how to install that in a previous video, but assuming that you have done all that, Sierra Chart will detect that installation. So next we need to pick which files to compile. We click Select Files. We scroll down and select write2t6.cpp. Click Open. Next we click Build. Build with Visual Studio C++ Release. We will wait for it to compile the source, and we can see that the compilation has finished. Next we will put together a chart with continuous futures data. So first we will click Find Symbol. For today we will look at the ES, so that's under Futures CME. We scroll down to ES, which is right here. It's the E-mini S&P 500 index. And we will click on one of the first available contracts. We click Open Intraday Chart. We'll close this window and wait for this to load. Okay, so the data finished loading. So now we need to take a look at the settings. First we click on Chart, and then we click on Chart Settings. Next we need to take a look at this one. It's called Continuous Contract List. We want to change this over to a continuous futures contract rule that we would like. For this demonstration, we will use Date Rule Rollover. We click Apply All, and it will take a moment to reload. We'll just let that do its work. Okay, so we can see that the chart in the background has refreshed and is still going. So now we go over to the Data Limiting tab. We change it from use number of days to load to use date range. And then for the date range, we say, for today, we're just going to bump it back to use 2000. So we'll start from the year 2000, January 1st. And let's also paste it down here for good measure. And then we will click Apply All. And we will wait for that to load. I will briefly note that as I'm waiting for the data to download, it is getting gigabytes and gigabytes of data. So if you want to get significantly less data, say the past 3 years of continuous data, then you probably don't want to go as far back as I did. Next, we will actually do the exporting of the data to Zorro. So first we will designate a output directory. We will call this futures data. I put it in my Y directory. I'm going to copy that. Next, I will right-click on the chart. We'll click on Studies. We will add a custom study. At the bottom is this one called Write2T6. We double-click here, and then we click on Settings. So since this will be in a intraday format. We will go down the list. We want this to be open, high, low, close bar. We do want this to be UTC time since that is the Zorro default. Split files by date range. We want this to be by year, YYYY. Now where it says file name template, we will enter the directory name, which in our case is y:\futures data, and then we will add a backslash. We will say ES_CONT, which is for continuous, and then we will say .t6. So then we click apply. So we click OK, and right now this directory is empty. On the chart, we will right-click on it and we will click Begin Write Bar Data to Zorro File. We give it a second and it will create the data. Sure enough, it created data going all the way back to 2008. Now, it would seem that it did not have data going back before 2008. So bear this in mind if you want to run back tests. I would recommend perhaps starting with 2009 for your back tests in this case. Now you can also check the integrity of the data by using the Z History Editor, which comes free on the Zorro download page. And so if you click select and then you go to the directory, click on any one of them, it's going to load up the data, and then you could take a look at the data entries. Recall that we exported the timestamps to be in UTC. So likewise, the volume should be higher during market hours and lower during off hours. And that concludes today's demonstration. If you found this to be useful, be sure to give this video a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and have a nice day.